What's up guys, I'm back with another update video, and today we're going to revisit the Galaxy S22 Plus. This is such a fantastic device and one of my favorite phones to recommend to people, and the price has come down a lot actually on this phone, and it's really good. It's a phone that a lot of people actually forget about and don't consider, but the phone is almost a perfect phone, and you'll see. But you can find one in very good condition online now for $339. This phone used to be like $420 last time we looked at it, so that was like maybe 5 months ago. And yeah, it's coming down in price in very good condition, and it's just an excellent buy. I mean, this phone is so good at this price point, it's crazy. All right, so the last update that this phone got was the Android One UI 6 update, and we're on the March patch, I believe we should be, or February. Yeah, we're on March 1st, and yeah, so the thing about this phone is that I really was hoping that Samsung would put the AI features, but unfortunately, and this is a question that I was getting a lot, they're not going to do that. The only way they're going to get S22 users to upgrade, you know, to the S23 or S24 or S25 is the AI features, because that's going to be a big part of what Samsung is doing. And basically, it really comes down to the person, whether you think the AI stuff is useful or not. But to answer the question, no, it's not coming to the S22 devices. At least that's not what we've seen. It's only the S23. First thing that's going to stand out when you do buy this phone is the design. So basically, this is pretty much a phone for anybody who does not like the S22 Ultra because of the squared off design. It has a very boxy feel, and then also if you don't like it because the screen is not completely flat. The screen is flat. The S22 Ultra is curved, and yeah, this display on here is pretty decent size as well too. We'll get into that a little later, but this phone feels so much better, and it's for anybody who I think has smaller hands and also who just doesn't want that kind of boxy sharp feel. This is the perfect phone for you at a really good price. It's got the matte finish, it's IP68 dust and water resistant, it still has that really cool design to it as well too, and it's not a super heavy phone as well too. It's actually, it's not a light phone, but it's not like crazy heavy. So overall, for the design, I think this is still a fantastic looking phone in 2024. Now let's talk about the display a little bit more. It's probably one of my favorite things about this phone. As you guys can see, just a super crispy panel here, and it's really just a really nice looking panel. You guys can see the screen bezels on here as well too, just super slim for this price point. This is why I say always check out older flagships. Really avoid these mid-range phones, most of them for the most part. This has a 6.6 inch display. It's dynamic AMOLED. It's HDR at 10 plus, 120 hertz. The max brightness is 1750 nits. It's 1080p, 393 for the PPI. It's just a beautiful panel. Like I said, this is for anybody who was looking at the S22 Ultra, but you really don't want a phone that's super big, and you also don't want something with a curved screen on it as well too. And this is perfect, right? It's 6.6 inches, so it's not too big, right? And then it's flat, so you can put your screen protectors on here just fine. Indirect sunlight is just fine. Watching videos, content is just really nice on here. It's really a top tier display still in 2024 here. All right, so just to touch on the software. So this is running the One UI 6 update, and like I said, this is one of Samsung's, I think, best software updates that they've done in a long time. I mean, this really was bug free for the most part. It wasn't a whole bunch of bugs with this update. I thought the animations also got a lot smoother as well too. It was really impressive. So the One UI 6 update, I did a whole video on that if you guys want to see like all the major changes. But yeah, there's no major bugs on this update, thankfully. There's no battery life issues, there's no glitches for the most part, not any that I've seen. So if you have seen some, let me know. But software wise, this phone is smoother than ever in my opinion. Alright, so let's talk about the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. For gaming, it's still going to be a beast. You can see we got PUBG at 90 frames on here, and it's still going to be a beast, right? I don't have access to the Exynos models because I'm in the USA, guys. But this one has 128 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM, and it's really fast. So the difference between this and the AAA processor, the previous one, is that this one gets nowhere near as hot. yeah, so when you're doing gaming for a long period of time, it's really not that big of an issue. And I'm not saying that this doesn't get warm, but it doesn't get anywhere near as hot as the AAA processor. But yeah, the gaming performance is going to be again top tier. Again, you're paying $300 and you're getting top tier gaming performance on games like Call of Duty, PUBG, Fortnite. It plays pretty much anything in the Play Store. So whatever you really want to throw at it, whether it's Genshin or whatever, you're getting a very good and powerful gaming device for relatively cheap as well too. So you guys saw me, buy these mid-range phones, and we see, I don't want to call it pathetic, but just if you're a competitive gamer, the settings are pathetic, right? But if you're a casual gamer, I guess it's fine. But if you're a real gamer on a budget, you honestly are 100% gonna get an old flagship. There's no way you buy a budget phone. It just doesn't make any logical sense. But yeah, it's super fast, guys. Here's the Geekbench scores for everyone. If they want to do some comparing, you guys can see where this kind of lands at. I really try not to get too much into benchmarks because it's not like a big thing for most people. Most people are pretty casuals. But yeah, so I want to talk about the additional stuff. So again, you have all of your flagship features in here, like Samsung desktop support, the under the display fingerprint sensor. It does work really well. It is the ultrasonic one. And let's talk about the speakers as well. Let's turn this up max volume. So the speakers are pretty nice on here. They're pretty, clear for the most part. Yeah, so the top speaker is actually putting in a good amount of work too on here as well. So yeah, so the speaker quality is pretty good on this phone for the most part. Alright, so this phone has phenomenal cameras on it, and it's just really impressive, the image quality that you get from here. So this phone has a 50 megapixel standard and a 10 megapixel telephoto. We have 3x optical, and then we also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 8K 24, and then we also have a 10 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. The image quality is still really, really good on here, and I do mean it's still pretty much flagship, quality as compared to the S24 and S23. It's still going to take some really good shots. I think the S24 and S23 probably does a little bit better in low light situations for sure, but I just really like the cameras on here. And I received a question like, do you get that skin whitening thing on this phone? No, I think my selfies come out pretty good. It's not like the older Galaxy phones where the skin kind of whitens itself or whatever. This one, I'm actually kind of close to my color. Not exactly, but kind of close to my color. And video is great. Dynamic range is great. Detail is awesome. It's just a really nice looking camera. I mean, I can't see anybody really complaining about the cameras on here. But yeah, video, photos, everything is really good on here. I just think this is a top tier camera for sure. Now, when it comes to battery life, this phone actually, I think the battery life is actually better than the S22 Ultra. It might be because of the bigger display and the running at 1440p, but this phone, I definitely get better standby time and better screen on time as well too. So the battery life is 100% better on the S22 Plus in my opinion. It's got a 4500 milliamp hour battery. It charges at 45 watts, and then you have wireless and reverse wireless charging on board. The battery life is very good on this phone. You can easily get all day battery life without having to worry. So I have nothing negative to say about this phone, especially at this price. It's kind of ridiculous that you can get this phone at this price that's nearly perfect when it comes to hardware, display. The processor is really good on here. The cameras I still think are top tier on here as well too. And this phone is going to still get software updates for a pretty long time as well too. So there's nothing that I don't like about this phone. This phone only got better since we looked at it with the One UI 6 update, and then also with the with the price drop, right? So that's pretty much it. I mean, this is like a top 5 for me this year for recommendations. It's too good not to recommend to people. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.